110 degrees. Yeah. Yeah. You want to get some? Hmm? Huh? What, you want some? Hmm? You know you can have the lime. Lime is toxic. It's poisonous to you. Yeah. You can't have that, Papa. That is poisonous. Yeah, remember you licked that on the floor? I give you all that charcoal? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah. You can't have that, Papa. Yeah. Get 2 cups of sugars. want to order 2 of these books, but I'm not going to today because I'm not spending no more money on these books. Yeah, which one is that? Okay, I'll find out my part. Remember? You want to let me go to sleep? What's that? We'll use district court. Yeah, I have to go to that one. Trying to make me do some more jury duty. I'm not doing no more. Got me fucked up. Yo, so what's going on, y'all? I'm not notifying people when I go live. I'm just gonna go live. They can come and see it later, or they don't have to. You know, every time I say it's not my loss, somebody thinks it's, you know, I've had a couple people like, you know, people that think they know me. They don't even know me. They just knew me on Facebook for some years, and they didn't know nothing, you know? You know, it's always the people who ever say something, when somebody says something, you better believe they're suffering from it. So I was going to upload the video here. My aunt, she's not paying that crap. No, you know, she got big attorneys and all that. Willie D better shut up. They're enjoying themselves. I can't say them where they're on vacation. And so I got a video when KC got arrested with a gun and drugs, because he's a big drug addict. He's a big drug addict, and something's wrong. Something's not right with Willie D's head. Maybe he doesn't have to do humiliation to belong to the Goofy Club, thinking he's gonna be safe. You better keep this name up, keep that name, this family name about your mouth. Aunt Joe's taking care of Uncle John because that's what she do. Just like my grandmother when she called me to go on chef and take care of her. Not knowing how long she was 94, whatever. 90, I know she's older, but and me cooking, my mama started walking. My grandmother started walking again. You know, it amazes me. It boggles my mind that these individuals think they can do something, and this is the time we living in. The perversion is so heavy, especially amongst the melanated people. Is, you know, what do you do? I was always wanting to tell people, just be quiet, don't say nothing. And it's, like I said, you could talk about my mama, you could talk about you fuck my aunt and all that. I wouldn't give 2 rats. And what am I supposed to do? But when you're talking about something and you're coming out of character, when I addressed it, saying, look, it's not like that. It's bigger than what you think. And you start talking as if you really know, because the music industry ain't shit. Music industry is garbage. And anybody still representing it, you garbage. It's not ours. Ours is about elevation. Not some goofy ass Cardi B and some little boy Corley Ray, whatever the fuck. You call it whatever you want. My opinion. Beautiful thing about the Constitution of Bill of Rights, and if you don't like it, get the out. Go. Leave. It's easy. Take your ass to some fake ass Caucasian Europe or whatever. Whatever you want to, get the fuck up off my land. Let's go ahead and get some reading in, y'all. Yeah, when you pull up, you don't look in here, boy. Hold on. Coming here to go Airbnb don't mean you gotta look in here. Go to your place, turn your key. I don't mind looking up here, but you don't live here. You don't have no reason to look in here. Not that I really care, but I know it scares them too, because they see things and they're like, what's that window? What's that hole? And then they straighten up. Too bad. So anyway, I want to read a little bit, a paragraph or two from the American Discovery of Europe, by Jack D. Forbes. Alright. I'm hungry. I always eat like 3 tablespoons of that ice cream. It'll last me forever, guys. It's so good. It's no milk, it's no soy, it's just good. Check this out. Chapter 1. Americans across the Atlantic Galway and the certainty behind Columbus's voyage. Now, whenever I talk about this Columbus brother, right? What he was a nigga. A Negro. He always knew where this place was. The Vatican is a lie. It's not even the Vatican. That's their made-up name that everybody believes in. It's like the fake queen and the crown of England's all phony. When I was telling people that revolutionary, what? Man, y'all are too stupid to know that you've been under that fake-ass crown and you don't even know it. And then come find out, and since the fake demic, they've been all going, holy shit, we've been actually under the crown of England. No kidding, you stupid asses. And then people feel some kind of way. And I'm sitting there going, wow, I was saying it from the rooftop, like fiddle on the roof, just come over here, follow the Mises and the rats. And everybody like, you bugging, Red, you crazy. Okay, well, check this out. Sometime during the 1470s, a group of Native Americans followed the Gulf Stream from the Americas to Ireland. And we don't know if they were from the Caribbean region or from North America. There were no Mongols in the Caribbean, bro. And it should say a volume of shit, right? And we don't know if their journey was intentional or if they were driven eastward by a storm. What we do know is that 2 or more Americans, at least a man and a woman, reached Galloway Bay, Ireland, and were there seen by Cristoforo Colomb, long prior to his famous voyage of 1492. Now, this momentous event, largely ignored by white historians, and not fucking white, marks the beginning of the modern age, since it is precisely because of this experience that Colombo possessed the absolute certainty that he could sail westward to Cathay, or that's to Cathay, China, and India. It is true, of course, that Columbus later learned of many arguments favoring the possibility of being able to sail directly westward from Europe to Asia, and most of these arguments were based upon logic. None of those names were utilized, but you know, in the aftermarket, what y'all know and understand, so that's what these terms I'm using. Though, and not upon actual concrete evidence, they were arguments derived from books that Columbus studied and annotated, or from conversations and correspondence. It is significant that all of the hard evidence Columbus had learned about originated with the actions of the Americans, or of the American environment itself. That is the most concrete evidence that a land lay directly to the west of Europe, and the offshore islands, such as the Azores, was derived from the drifting of American seacraft to the Azores, and from the discovery of American bodies washed ashore, and from the arrival of carved wood. And natural objects, driftwood, logs, seeds, reeds, and debris, driven by currents and winds from the west. And Columbus learned of them secondhand, and he did not see them himself, but learned of them from other persons. Now you got to remember, it's a turbulent time between the so-called, regardless of adding 500 or 1,000 years, whatever they did to pervert it. That was a time of calamity and war. When I tell y'all from the 6th century all the way up until now, let's push up until like the so-called 1800s, when certain individuals came here, when we were fighting amongst ourselves, okay? And then the destruction happened. Systemic destruction. Overnight plannings, poisonings, seeking out the heads of clans, our people, and then bringing this Mongolian Cabbage Patch babies who were stolen away from those murdered All right, because they killed a lot of the Mongols and Mongols. And they murdered a lot of them, but they had the helping hands of Negroes on that part and other people that looked like them. After they conquered certain places, they had to eradicate the history to start a new history. Y'all just don't get it, do you? Whenever they went to a land to conquer it, they had to kill off all those who could usurp power, and then the babies and the women bring in a whole new environment of individuals. A reset has been ongoing all the time, non-stop, okay? And then you got these individuals here, they think they're not from here. Listen, Native Americans, you're not indigenous autochthonous. You're not, we're autochthonous. There's a big difference. Don't matter how you feel, little ghost accounts or whoever it is, a Hindu or Ashkenazi over in Palestine, it don't matter. It's not going to stop nothing. My people are getting stronger and stronger and realizing that y'all are just stupid. And they should have realized that in the very beginning. Me, I played with y'all because I like to see y'all pull out all your stops and debunks and this, that, and show how ignorant you are. Okay? And a whole lot of pale skins walking around talking about we're Native American. No, you ain't nothing. You don't even have a real history. A whole lot of Peckerwood talking about they hate the Jews. And all. You are of them, you stupid son of a bitch. You're Ashkenaz. The majority of you. There wasn't but a handful of you. Now, the ones we birthed in, well, you can see. Go look it up. The records are still there. They were lynching them right alongside of us. And then they got these fraud high steppers down in the South, Nebraska and all these places, didn't even know how to work the land. These little become teenagers working like slaves, marrying and having babies, and then giving them an identity on the land and passing it on for a number of generations. These idiots actually believe they fought in the Civil War and this. No, y'all didn't. You're not children of, you're not, I told you I'm an authentic child of the, where is it at? Oh, it's over there. Of the Confederacy. The majority of people they're not authentic. You got people over there in Virginia and stuff, they act playing out war movies, got a bunch of dumb Negroes, just dumb. Because you got to remember, a lot of our people who were murdered, they took them children and they re-educated them. No, some of them were rescued, not all. So you got a lot of Negroes running around who have been selected to be put in positions, and other people who just don't know no better. They did that right here on the soil with some of our people's help and others. Ignorance. And that's the bottom line. America, so-called, I hate that word America, it was always a Negro continent. Always. And will always be one. Always. All right, let's go ahead and hit George Jones' An Original History of Ancient America. Circumcision was practiced in Mexico, America, from two distinct, circumcision, you know, cutting the foreskin, was practiced in Mexican America from two distinct, it should say four, and it says from, for two distinct reasons. First, from a supposition that it was conducive to health, and secondly, from a religious custom. This last fact will be required for the third volume. Now, the former only will be here brought forward for the purpose of proving another analogy. Now, circumcision was practiced by the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Tyrians, and Colchians, and Cappadocians, upon the belief that personal safety would be the result, and the custom might therefore be viewed as a sacrifice to Hygia, the goddess of health, where you get the word hygiene from. Okay? And in this sacrifice, many of the females of Egypt did not exempt themselves. The custom, however, was optional. This is proved by the Egyptian mummies. So that way there would be no filling. They just make babies. Now, there were no laws to enforce it, except upon the priests of Egypt, as among the Israelites and Jews, with whom, as an entire people, it was and is one of the most sacred customs established by a covenant between the Father of the universe and the patriarch of Israel. Now, in the division of the land of Canaan between the 12 tribes by Joshua, the tribe of Asher was located on the confines of Sidon and Tyrus. And Joshua reestablished the covenant of circumcision after it had been purposely laid aside by Moshe, and we know who that is, during the 40 years wandering in the wilderness, based upon destruction, y'all, not as the story played out or laid out. It was therefore practiced by the immediate neighbors of the Tyrians, and it's really good. And it appeared, what, dog it? Will you leave that bottle alone? Throw that away now. My little man, he bugging out, man. You gonna start getting the zoomies, cuz? Excuse me. And it is apparent, I want to make sure I was sticking pages, apparent to believe that the custom was received among the Phoenicians owing to their juxtaposition with the tribe of Israel. Now the Egyptians received the custom in a similar manner. And during the sojourn of Israel in Egypt, the tribe of Asher, now we know this to be their dynamics of writing, because Egypt was a period that was all over earth, a period of time. And there was a great fall and a great battle. And it was all over. Egypt is in America. It doesn't matter what anybody think. Don't pay them no mind, because their feelings don't mean shit. They don't know. They speak on their feelings. And then they go to a couple of handful of books that's foolish, actually, books. Anyway, all right. The tribe of Asher and its customs gradually encroached upon the idolatry and manners of the Phoenicians. For we find, upon the authority of Maltabon, that the members of the tribe Asher were driven back from all the sea coasts to the interior by the Sidonians and Tyrians. And the custom, however, in an optional character, remained with the Tyrians. And in that manner, it was practiced by the Mexican aborigines. In viewing the above analogy, it must be evident to the reader that in the fact of optional circumcision, no matter from what motive, another proof is seen of the two distinct races in ancient America. For in the North, as stated heretofore, where it is practiced, it is only in the form of a religious rite. Mongolians ain't do that shit. And the tradition of the ancient Mexicans as to where they came from is directly in favor of this work. Upon Cortez asking Montezuma II the origin of the Mexican race, the monarch answered that many ages ago they came from the east, for example, from where the sun rises. And as he then was speaking in Mexico, the east is at once defined to be across the Atlantic Ocean. Now the coast of Phoenicia was always denominated the East, and is absolute on the authority of Holy Writ. And in that definition, Tyrius is distinctly spoken of. And some people will say, well, if we're in Israel, how can we be the Tyrians? These people are, even though it's great information, they're still confused. They're lacking authenticity, only going by the narrative to paint a certain portrait or picture, expanding on truth, but in the dynamics of their ignorance. Because the Tyrians slept with the true sons of, you dig what I'm saying? The originals. Yeah, that's why I have no problem saying that we've got some in the bloodline, but they were here long before anybody else. Y'all have a hard time accepting Atlantis, huh? Moo. And that's going back beyond even your ideology of Egypt. In the fall, when someone would come here and want to pursue us in a way that's not good. Okay? You gotta be careful how I put this out here. All the nations have I destroyed before them. And in the east I have scattered the people of the provinces, even of Tyrus and Sidon. That's Esdras too, for those who need to know, all right? Sahagun, the Spanish historian who lived nearly 60 years with the Mexicans, and wrote about 15 years after the conquest of Cortez, 1520, mind you, relates that from their traditional history handed down from remote antiquity, the aborigines of the country first touched at Florida, then coasted along until they reached the Bay of Honduras, and they then landed. That's just 3 damn stories right there. Y'all hear that? Well, I'm going to read this paragraph and we'll shut this down and move on to the next. It will be observed that the terms touched, coasted, and landed are phrases belonging exclusively to navigation. This confirmed the reply of Montezuma that his ancestors originally came from the east, for by navigation only could they come from the quarter, and as a consequence they sailed towards the west and across the Atlantic Ocean. And we know this is actually the ancient East. But like I said, it's the game you have to play when reading information. Baby steps. Okay? Because you have people out there that'll be like, hey, and they don't have no tolerance for understanding anything. They will stand under, and you can feed them whatever you want. And with that, you have to be coy. All right? So Westside says he's got what's the brother's name? Lock and Loaded. Ready? We're talking about setting up to do a podcast, so that'd be good. And you know me, I'm gonna sit in the cut, but I'm gonna address some things. Oh, let's go ahead and get a little bit of this. This is water I ran through my machine. I haven't ran none through there because I've been drinking coconut water ever since. I've been like, my thirst has been, it's excellent. I said Sunday, this Monday. I meant Monday. You know me. Hey, Snoo, that hasn't arrived yet. It'll probably arrive tomorrow or Wednesday, but I'll let you know when it gets here. Let's go ahead. Is she in it? Hey, baby girl. Hey, Mikey. What's going on, beloved? Hey, that's good. Westside. What's going on, beloved? Yeah, man. It was pretty good live. It was long as hell, but I was out like a light. I went back and watched it this morning. But check it out. Let's go ahead and get into Behold the Pale Horse. Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. Whew. All right. Remember we were having this discussion with Randy and Bill. So we're right at Randy. Okay. Because Bill last responded, sure. And y'all know as to what. Okay. When you're talking about I'm not a holy roller, because he was wondering why he wasn't going to say nothing. Well, scared. Anyway, so here we go with Randy. When this came, my apologies. When this came out in the blue, I had a lot of thoughts in my own head. You galvanized a lot of them, especially the text where you were talking about the sudden influx of media and television on an alien presence among us in our society. I felt that for almost 2 years, and I could never really verbalize it. Bill, oh yeah. Bill responds, oh yeah. They're desensitizing us so that when it happens, all things that they feared in the beginning that led to all the lies, that led to all the crimes, won't cause what they feared. It won't cause the collapse of our society and our culture and our religions. It will affect the economy, though, quite a bit. So Randy's response to that is the economy is out the door anyway. Bill states, yeah, no, actually, if everybody was to stop working, I'm serious. Every damn body. If 13 million people stopped working right now and stayed not working for a week, we take everything back over. People are too, But anyway, Bill, yeah. And that may be what they're waiting for, to change into a cashless society so it can't have that kind of effort. Wow, it can't have that kind of effect. And Randy goes, yeah, there was an awful lot, you see. I have my sister and my mother who are both, let's say, God's Green Berets. They're super religious types. And God bless you, come to church type thing. And at their urging, I went through the Bible and I read it. I read it for 4 or 5 times. And every time I went through it, I kept seeing different things. And I have my own views on life and on a variety of things. And until I read your material, it never really galvanized me into thinking things. Now, like I said, the only thing I can really relate to you is what I experienced during the Apollo Soyuz shot. And so Bill says, that's great, because what you experienced there is just confirmation of what I've been telling everybody. There is a secret space program, and there is a control group called Majority. The president is called Majesty, and in connection with these things, what you are getting, the Majesty advisory messages, were to keep the president updated. Randy states, the real funny part about all of that is the guy who would come in and was using our facility, his name was Logan, Mr. Logan. His title was supposed to be communications coordinator, but I never seen him do a damn thing except come into that room, read traffic, draft a reply, and then go back up to CIC. Now, we were in, hearing all these acronyms, man, it takes me back. We were in what was called the GINSER, General Service Side of Communications, and we weren't the spooks. The spooks had their own little quarters over on the other side of the ship. As usual. Bill replies, sure. And then Randy states, but we did have the KL-47 and the rest of the NASA types, the civilian types would come down to. And we had a message window in the hallway, and they'd come up and they'd hand their outgoing messages in the window, and they would go out on the general service circuits. And the only stuff that we handled was was traffic for majority control with Majesty. And what was that? And adversaries, and that was it. Advisories. God dog. And a lot of it, like I said, was a lot of textual data. I mean, there were tons of text, and it was all couched in techno babble, and I didn't really understand, but I do remember the acronym IACS everywhere. I mean, completely repetitious. And Bill replies, oh yeah. Bill's looking for it to qualify what he's been going and running around doing. Remember that. So Randy goes, that's as much as I can offer you. That's as much as I can offer you, excuse me. And Bill replies, do you remember where the messages were sent for majority control? Randy replies, no. The location of majority control was never disclosed. The only thing I can assume is that it was somewhere north. The ship was anchored, and well, we weren't anchored. We were at what was called sea anchor, which I'm sure you are aware of. We were on an east-west axis so that all of our antennas could be brought to bear on the western horizon, because that's the way the spacecraft was coming around. The antenna that was assigned to my circuit was an antenna called a rotating log periodic antenna, or RLPA, and which is a very, very directional antenna, and it was pointed north. So Bill states, well, what was north of you at that point? And Randy states, Thule, Greenland, Thule, Greenland. Bill, Thule, Greenland. Okay, very interesting. Also, I am glad you saw the message about Nixon, because everybody thought, sure, that if anything was wacko, that was the wackiest thing that I had said. And Randy says, actually, no, that one made complete sense, because those days surrounding Nixon's announcement, you said that message was sent 5 days previous to this announced resignation. Well, anyway, that 5-day period, if I remember my history correctly, was extremely turmoil. And if you go back to the New York Times and read in depth the political commentary during those days, what you're going to find is that there was an awful lot of turbulence. I mean, 5 days prior, there were a lot of steps being taken. It would not surprise me if that message would have been promulgated and sent 5 full days prior to the public announcement, because the public is always the last one to know. So I found that the most realistic of the things that were in here, well, Bill says, fantastic. Well, God is answering my prayers. Oh, wow, because see, that's what he just wanted to hear him say that stuff, okay? It makes me so happy. Now, listen, Randall, I've been tapping this whole phone conversation. It says tapping. I think he means taping. It does say tapping, 2 P's. This whole phone conversation, it should be 1 P. If you want me to destroy this tape, I will. And the reason I do it is I never know when somebody's going to say something that is important or not. And Randy goes, I have nothing to hide from you, Bill. And Bill goes, okay. I just want you to know I've never betrayed a source or used a person's name when he or she asked me not to. I've never used a tape if he or she asked me not to, and if I was asked to, I destroyed it. I've always done that. I try to work with everybody in a comfortable manner because my goal is not to embarrass or hurt anyone. It's to stop this thing that's happening. Randy, well, you've got another recruit. Bill states fantastic. Doesn't sound like he's too scared, or maybe he's tired or he's worried. Randy, any questions? Bill, sure. Randy, who is Linda Howe? Bill, Linda Moulton Howe is a TV producer who, I don't remember when it was, I believe 1978 or something like that she made a film called A Strange Harvest about animal mutilations and the cattle mutilations. Randy, yeah, because in your notarized statement, you make reference to her. Bill says, yes. She contacted me along with a whole bunch of other people, but I tried to pick out the people who I thought were the most professional and the most likely to stand up under scrutiny or attempts to discredit it, and I figured she was one of those people. And the next time we'll pick up on Randy because we want to get into the secret government. I keep telling you there's another government with another president and all that shit. Nobody wants to believe me. Not that I really care, but yeah. Well, everybody's up here running around looking like retards. Trump, Biden, Pence, DeSantis, blah, blah. Looking all retarded. The Gods of Eden, William Bramley. I don't know why I don't have a thing in here because the pages on this one just get lost. I get lost for days on this one. I don't know how they come in here so on a Monday. It ain't no holiday. Can't make this stuff up, people. Okay, we'll mark this one. Is that it? I'm gonna use this to mark it. I gotta find the page, guys. I didn't mark it. I'm just saying I want to make sure I got the right part when I pick it up. Okay, here we go. Excellent. All right. Keep in mind that we are unable to see any solid planets beyond our own solar system. You know we're gonna hear a lot of bullshit, so just mind your manners, okay? So hold on with me. Ride with me. Beyond our own solar system, there are things you gotta remember. That thing is to use the truth and conflict you and confuse you and keep you stuck in the narrative of stupidity or lies. And I know most people are starting to realize that. Most people are starting to wake up and go, I didn't get that before, but I see it now. All right? Okay, let's get back into it. Keep in mind that we are unable to see any solid planets beyond our own solar system, right? Let alone determine solar system, dome. Planets, planes, extraterrestrial, well, they got you locked in the ice wall. Let alone determine if there is any life on them. The human situation in this respect may be likened to a colony of tiny ants whose range of observation may only encompass a few acres. Do y'all know when they first started using the term human? It has nothing, it's an implication that has nothing to do with man and woman. I'm just saying, research it. Like they say, kids, children, boys, girls, and that's all beasts and animals. Anyway, if that colony is situated on a barren desert, the ants might conclude that the entire earth is a desolate wasteland. Now, let me read that again. The human situation in this respect may be likened to a colony of tiny ants whose range of observation, from what's permitted to be seen or what you can see, may only encompass a few acres. Remember? We see to a certain point. We don't see beyond. So that's how they're able to fool everybody. Remember I told you I was in Crow's Nest and I looked at the thing and I saw all those ships. And he's like, yeah, that's like 300 miles. I was like, what? Them ships is flat on the... That's 300 miles. Like, yeah, don't say nothing. And because I always talked about flat Earth and shit, and people used to be like, "Oh, Red's crazy," blah 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 blah. I'm always looking for books and everything, you know, in the military. And there are those who believe, officers, higher, you know, non-commissioned officers, commissioned. You know. Anyway, range of observation may only encompass a few acres. Now, if that colony is situated on a barren desert, the ants might conclude that the entire Earth is a desolate wasteland. Now, they can argue in reverse. Well, it ain't no edge. It keeps going, so we're not going to fall off the edge. Now that limits the size of your Earth. That's saying the Earth ain't but so big, and that's just plain foolish. It's infinite. Never dreaming of the vast metropolis only 100 miles away, simply because we find our own solar system, our section of the galaxy, barren. It does not automatically follow that this is the case everywhere, mind you. Another sector of the galaxy may be absolutely teeming with intelligent life. Now, that thinking like that keeps you from searching deeper and dream walking. That means doing what's called an you know, they say, me and Snoop was talking about the Pope's exorcism. Exercising yourself or walking outside of yourself while still occupying this. And that means being in another place or being able and training and perfecting that. So where even in this moment right here, we can see one another and visit one another. But we have not been nurtured to do that. They've dumbed us down. And so the argument can be a two-factor thing. You dig what I'm saying? Anyway, simply because we find our own solar system or section of the galaxy barren, it does not automatically follow that this is the case everywhere. Another sector of the galaxy may be absolutely teeming with intelligent life, and there would be no way for us out here on the distant edge of the Milky Way coming along to know, except by guessing with theories that are ever changing. Milky Way. Isn't that a road? For this reason, it is not particularly wise to disregard evidence of extraterrestrial visitation if it appears. Extraterrestrial. Come on, people. Now, this is number 10, which I don't want to read the numbers. I want to read this one here. Check this out. Only people with mental problems believe in UFOs. One unfortunate method, you know what that just did, right? That puts you in a place to not think about it. It capitulates surrealism, and it makes you be disposed to dismissing. But what's a UFO? An unidentified flying object? It could be somebody falling out the sky, like falling from the Twin Towers. We have a UFO coming down. I don't know if it's a part of the building or whack. Oh, it's a person. It's identified. You get what I'm saying? But when they do this, it's conditioning. That's why you got to learn how to be able to read and hear things and not dismiss it, but know that it has no control or swaying over you to change how you think. Because that's what they do. They want to change how you think. All right. So one unfortunate method some UFO critics use to attack evidence of extraterrestrial visitation is with psychological theory. Because such a critic is absolutely certain that there have been no extraterrestrial aircraft in our skies. Now, extraterrestrial means a visitation from a ship or one that was built somewhere here that we're nowhere closer. So if we see it, now right now what they're trying to do is condition you, but it's based upon fear factor, just like the collapse of the economy. They're doing it on purpose. Who's been paying attention for the last year how Biden's been frugally spending fiat and making the illusion of that, not Biden, but you know who that motherfucking fraud is, and making an illusion of that, pushing for war and everything else. blowing up food plants and this, that, and other, and everybody's been like this. Ain't nobody do nothing. So you tell me what the spraying's not working? Some people say, well, I'm one individual, regardless of what I do. I've done my part, and I would do more. But y'all are just chicken shits looking for everybody else and making excuses. That's all y'all do. That's all they do. Still want to run around and fight and racists, be dumb racists and goofy gang members and dumb niggas and music industry. All of them dumb. And nobody's even paying attention. Nobody's even saying this. Because such a critic, anyway, such a critic is absolutely certain that there have been no extraterrestrial aircraft in our skies, he may resort to using defamatory psychological labels in an effort, as the first one that you read. Oh, I read to you, excuse me. To explain why many people will consider a possibility that the critic rejects. Now, such labels have run the gamut from a simple need for religious fulfillment to ambulatory schizophrenia. And those are labels nobody wants. You see what I'm saying? But I told you have a fictional government that's the enemy of the people and the state and everything else. But nobody wants to hear that either. And this dubious psychiatry has become regrettably fashionable in recent years. It hides the reality that most serious research into UFOs is as clinical and scientific as one could hope for. Now, the majority of UFO researchers are as sane and rational as the critics who are so quick to bandy up about the unflattering psychological labels. Now, the true UFO debate centers around genuine scientific, intellectual, and historical issues, not emotional ones. Now, another problem with using psychological analysis to explain popular and scientific interest in UFOs is that we're tired of saying UFOs, it's a dumb fucking word, is that the tables can be turned. A scholar advocating the possibility of extraterrestrial visitation can as easily and as incorrectly argue that those people who adamantly adhered only to prosaic explanations for UFO sightings in the face of contrary evidence are deeply afraid of something they cannot understand. And between the distinguished sidebarns of a PhD, one could argue, it ain't got no punctuation. I'm sorry, y'all. Between the distinguished sideburns of a PhD, one could argue, maybe a frightened child or a willful adolescent desperately trying to handle the often confusing world around him by forcing everything to conform to what he can intellectually and emotionally comprehend. That's some MK shit. That's some seriously MK shit right there for you. Now, me, I don't believe in no goddamn UFO as labeled. I believe that many things have been hidden from you, huh? There are ships 20 to 50 or 100,000 years ahead of all the shit you see. And you have not been allowed to see it. And there are good guys and bad guys. And what they do is they make war with the good guys, and because of the bad guys, they get to look at it and break it down and reuse that. Because the bad guys don't want these idiots using the shit that they make, because they might have to take them out too. You get where I'm coming from? Reptilians in the history of humankind. I'm going to read only a couple of paragraphs, very short of this. The history of the humankind, Anunnaki by Henry Crane. Okay? I want to make sure I got that. All right, so we're right at where I'm supposed to be at, which is good. I want to make sure we're not too far behind. Yeah. All right. Now, when we were last discussing, we were talking about the headquarters, draconians, and asteroid, and blah, 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 and we know what that is. It's weapons. Now, the assembly finished, and the Anunnaki returned to Earth, accompanied by a group of carrions. And before they left, the draconians told Anu to obey all the orders of the carrions until they knew the resolution of the Kadutsu. Now, the Draconians later met in Orion with the insectoids, and that's a corny word. They could have used something different. But anyway, and there they planned how to prevent the Palladians from destroying the asteroid that had 15,700 kilometers of radius, much larger than the planet Earth, so that it would impact the planet Molg, which had about 65,000 kilometers of radius undoubtedly. This would lead to the destruction of this planet. And so it was. The Draconians ordered the insectoids to put artifacts of the asteroid, which, when activated, would create an electromagnetic field around it so that the radars and digital telescopes of the Galactic Confederation and the Palladians would not detect it. Once this was done, the Draconians waited for the Palladians to destroy this asteroid. Now, there's names in here. Now, the asteroid and all that shit is just pure fucking bullshit. Listen to me. Weapon, a massive weapon, to deflect something, to have you looking at something, to keep you stuck in that place of Space 1999, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, and all that other goofy shit, Star Wars. Yeah, so when we're reading this, you got to remember that some things are elusive. Because if you see something coming through the sky and it's burning up, you don't know the size of it. You don't know if it's as big as a damn state and it's going to level everything. And because we're upside, we're not below, and the waves that come, we're not protected inside a mountain. In a place that if 400 feet of water came, we had things that could scrub for 12 years. And the water could never come in. It'd be like a little lake, and we'd be safe within this place with trees and forests, animals, and everything, because they've hidden that from you. So now all you think is, if you see something falling from the sky, because they give you, movies like, what was it, 2010 or 2000, whatever, when the mortar and they had the arcs built and all that shit. What's the other one where the earth froze? But if you get these things where you start seeing asteroids hitting the earth, what was that last movie? One with the guy standing with the waves, and it takes him and his wife 1,000-foot wave. You would never know the truth. And there's millions upon millions of lives that could have been saved. But because we just sit here like this and we do this all the time, nobody really wants to get out there and push forward. And it doesn't matter if there's a machine-made earthquake. If you're in a place and you're solidified and you're protected and nobody knows you're there, that's why they did what they've done. And that's why they create wars, to keep everybody pinned down from getting together and saving life. These bastards. And y'all don't get it. Okay, let me keep reading. So when I'm reading this, make sure that you're aware of certain things, okay? Anyway, and so it was. The Draconians ordered the insectoids to put artifacts on the asteroid, which would activate and would create an electromagnetic field around it, to draw it in. All right, and the Galactic Confederation and the Palladians were not detected. Anyway, once this was done, the Draconians waited for the Palladians to destroy this asteroid. 24 terrestrial months had passed after the assembly in Molg, when 3 Palladian ships loaded with nuclear weapons left their bases in the Pallades and headed towards the asteroid to destroy it. Now, once they approached the asteroid, they were ambushed by 5 Draconian ships, which destroyed the Palladian ships in a few minutes. And just after having destroyed them, they activated the artifacts to create the electromagnetic field around the asteroid and hide it from the radar and digital telescopes of the Palladians and the Galactic Confederation, which at that moment wasn't serious. All of them celebrated the destruction of this asteroid, and the Palladians informed the Confederation that the operation had been a success, although they had lost communication with the 3 ships that destroyed the asteroid. So they told them they would send a scout ship to go to the place to investigate. Now, the Galactic Confederation also told the Palladians that they had lost communications with Molg, and that this was surely due to the great explosion caused by nuclear weapons. At the same time that the Draconians destroyed the Palladian ships, the insectoids disabled all communications of the planet Molg. Cheating had been a success, and the Draconians' plan worked out to perfection. The scout ship that had been sent to investigate the 3 ships that were sent to destroy the asteroid was also ambushed and destroyed by the Draconians. Now, when the Palladians lost communication with the scout ship, they began to suspect that something was wrong. So they decided to give notice to the Galactic Confederation, and when they realized that the asteroid had not been destroyed, it was too late. The asteroid impacted the planet Moog approximately 9,500 years ago, causing it to start fragmenting into pieces, and these were launched to space. One of these pieces impacted on Moog's, and you hear that? Fragments into pieces, and these were launched to space. So if it's launched to space, what do you, anyway? One of these pieces impacted on Moog's moon. It completely removed it from its natural orbit and placed it in a new orbit right between Mercury and the Earth. This moon became then as what we know today as the planet Venus. And the millions of pieces that remained on the planet Moog became what we know today as the asteroid belt. And this way, the dream of the Galactic Confederation to build a base in the Milky Way had ended. The Carians, the Palladians, so they did all that line to tell you that there was nothing going to be built there in the first goddamn place. The moon, right here, and going outside to all the lands that they got to make sure, because all the reading was doing before that was letting you know, giving you when to hear. Now they had to insert the goddamn, the real sci-fi bullshit, the H.G. Wells bullshit. Anyway. Let's finish this. Anyway, had to build a base in the Milky Way, and the Carians and the Palladians and the Arcturians suspected that the sabotage to destroy the great asteroid had been the work of the Draconians, though they did not have enough evidence to accuse them. Almost 1,800 Earth years were left before the next meeting of the Grand Council of the Galactic Confederation with the Kaditsu, where the destiny of humankind would be completely defined. Next, we'll get into the final decision of the Kaditsu. All right. Don't worry, sisters. We're going to get into the women of Lemuria and the Half the Mantles. We're going to read it together. It's going to be really good. Y'all going to like how this goes together. We're going to do that about, right now it's about, I think it's like, what is it, 4:35 or something? Something like that. And we'll get back about 6 something, about 6:25. I'll come back and we'll go ahead and knock it out. And I hope y'all, this has really got some good information in there. I've been reading it, this one and the other one. White Cargo's a trip. It's got some good shit in there, but we'll get into that later on. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of books that we read with that to break things down and give a little bit more. I ain't trying to be lenient with the made up stuff, but the White Cargo is true. And the people that would tend to them, who were gathered for that purpose, actually born into the world and taught, every few generations to be these caregivers. And you've seen pictures of them, and when they came here to America, and because of wearing suits and wearing the bibs and all that, yeah. And for those who had colic and all that, we had our women who seemed to always secrete fluid, and the big mamas who would nurse these babies into perfect health. And they would take, about half of them, and they would put them working. I'm talking about like anywhere from 9 to 13, put them working in the fields, teaching them and learning how to work on pour metal, work the steel mills, all the new stuff to actually put more poisons and chemicals in the air, all the new different stuff compared to what it used to be. And then later on, they would grow up and they have the feet over the belt. They could create the fake Western narrative because there was plenty of open land where they can have those little places where they couldn't be in the cities where the enemies were working in the cities. And you see that today. And a lot of our people forgot that history. So that's surprisingly, it's so fast. But people like myself, who actually knew his great-great-uncle, and uncles knew of the great cities and who we were. All right? So, appreciate you guys. So we're going to get into the Half the Material and the other books. There's 2 more other books. We'll read those, like I said, about 6:45. All right? Who all came in here? I'm going to get off of here now. Mikey Hill. I know where you are. Yeah, that's West Side right there. Mikey Hill, Snoo, West Side. There you go, brother. Yelling hearts further evidence linking animal mutilation to human. Yes, that's where to go. Checking this out. Oh, Brian. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's it right there, bro. Little bucks. Hey, Herbo, what's going on, beloved? Scott, what's going on, beloved? How you doing, brother? Okay, yeah. I should retract that one with a G. Sure, only we can go to the celestial ones. Yes, exactly. And we come back. The thing is to not come back, to go somewhere else and come. I'll get into that conversation. Y'all gonna like this one. Y'all gonna like this one. None about us. Asteroids with weapons, not falling rocks. That's right. Exactly. Benji, what's going on, beloved? Parabol. So anyway, let me get off of here. We just hit right an hour. I appreciate it. Baby steps. I'm gonna do my best to break it down a little more. I'm doing my best to be careful too, because I need y'all to think. Westside does a good job. Snoo, a lot of y'all. There's so much more, and I can't just lay a whole lot out there. You know what I'm saying? Because it is too much to drink. And besides that, I've been seeing more and more people talking, and that's cool. They're starting to find out some other things other than we Indian bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We're so much more than that. You know, I'm so glad that I got people to realize that now you got to come up out of that. Some people are having a hard time, they're putting their best thug on. You can tell me, whatever, bro. Believe what the fuck ever you want to believe, man. Be right where you at. But I appreciate y'all's nothing but love. And I'm going to make me some pasta. That pasta's damn good. I hope nothing never comes out about it that being bad. Let me show you what I'm talking about right quick. Put the water in there and get it going. This damn pasta is so fucking good. Oh my god. And I don't always eat it with sauce. I eat it with pesto and shit. Let me get on. I'm not going to use the charcoal water. I'm going to use this one. It's already filtered. Well, it's charcoal anyway. Change the calculator out too, Papa. Well, I did it yesterday, but you've been running back and forth like a retard. Okay. I don't want the lobster one because I don't want no seafood. I just want some seaweed. Let me check it out. This right here, spinach and ricotta. These right here are fucking delicious. You hear me? Oh my G. And then whenever I have soups, I always go to Amy's, like cream of mushroom and cream of broccoli. That's just me for right now. So I'm seasoning another one of my iron skillets. So, and that's some work right there. I do it how my grandmother did it. So, and that thing's banging. She used to do it with pork fat and all that shit. But right now I just got olive oil with some herbs and stuff. And I'm gonna let it sit in there for a couple of days. Let me get this right. So what I do is I go ahead and get the water with some olive oil and a little bit of salt, and I get that boiling. And then when I get it boiling, I drop that in there, stir it around for 5 minutes. This is the pesto I use. Let me show you the pesto I use. Sometimes I just use the salt and pepper too, with chopped garlic. It's a lot of iodine in there, all right? So, there we go. So I'm gonna holler at y'all in a little bit and get them other 3 books in. And it'll be a good day of reading and a good evening, all right? It's nothing but love. Y'all hit the Cashapp, $, capital I, Indian Jim. You know what I'm saying? 1. And get some more books. We got a few more. I got a whole lot on there. It's damn near $1,000 worth. I'll probably just get a few more $7, $12 ones. Just some good information and stuff like that. There's one book on inventions I want to get. It says The Black Inventors. I got that one. There's another one. There's a couple of them actually. You can Google it, or you can check it on Amazon for yourself. It's like about $18, $20 something. There's a few of them. I want to get all of them. So, yeah. Hit it up. Got Westside in here. He be hitting it up. Pop him off a few dollars every once in a while to his Cash App. And, those of us who's going to walk y'all and take y'all to a certain place and build on it. Because not everybody's meant to be a teacher, man. We're supposed to nurture our children and everybody else's children, but not all of us are meant to be teachers. And the problem is we got a whole lot of teachers and not enough motherfuckers who actually are paying attention and doing the work. And then those of us who are teachers, we're ready to get down with the get down too. This is a big difference. All right. So anyway, love y'all. Max V, what's going on, beloved? Yo, the music banging. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, stars don't move. That's right. They don't move. That's right. You already know, tribe. Yeah, I'm gonna start playing some of Max music. I think it's Max. I'm gonna start hitting some of his music because I'm actually gonna use it on my internet, on my internet on my TV. Somebody said you ain't got internet. Let me show you, motherfucker, something. And this is one of the first motherfucker TVs. Not Hulu, nigga. What is that? God damn. No, nigga. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Hulu. Not the e-manual. That's not what we want. All right. Make sure I got the right. All right, no, that's it. That's I actually have Universal God and it plays shit, and I don't like watching that crap. Because this be some goofy shit. I see why people are fucking going retarded. All right, here we go. All right, I know I turned that off. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, okay. Y'all excuse me, man. I'm hungry, and I'm feeling it. Okay. Now we come out of the e-manual. Yep. I'm turning it around. Anyway, I'm just going to exit it. So anyway. And then, as you're going to see, Samsung TV, God to God channels and all this shit, free movies. That's all the free crap. E-manual, display. This is all the crap that I got on here. All the source and all that, the remote, my Xbox, E-man. Then I go over here, and then I've got my notifications. And then I slide over this way. What is that? Apple TV, yeah, shut up. And then this is when I go onto the internet, and if I want to search something, I go up there and I pull it up. Do not show again, and y'all can see I've already got my. Yeah, don't show me if the fucking. All right, there you go, close. So there you go, and you can see my live and everything like that. So yeah, all right. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. Anyway, see y'all at 6:45, 6:30 probably, and I'll set it up, and we'll get the last few readings in, you know, and appreciate you guys hanging in there. All right. Night very routine. Very how much you're playing. It's definitely appreciate you guys.